Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for this week's news from the national governing body of our sport, USA Wrestling. Let's start this week's program just north of the border in Sherwood Park, a suburb outside of Edmonton, Canada, where the 2012 Women's World Championships were held. An experienced USA team entered the tournament with high expectations and performed well over the three-day tournament. At the conclusion, the U.S. added 4 world medalists to their list of heroes, including 2 new individual world champs. The team made a strong run at the overall title and came home with one of the world trophies. Let's focus on our 2 efforts from our world gold medalists. The first to win a world title at 147 pounds, it's Adeline Gray. Her journey toward excellence really started back in 2009 when she took 5th in the world. In 2011, she took the 3rd spot in the standings after her bronze medal performance. Adeline put it all together this year, however, in Canada and moved up 2 spots to take the top. How'd she do it? Well, she opened with a 3-0-2-0 shutout win over Bulgaria's Dana Menlova. In the second round, she rocked Japan's 2011 world bronze medalist Toshiko Inoue 1-1-3-0. India's Karo Navjot was her next victim. Gray won that semifinal with an exciting pin at 1:59 seconds into the bout. Now to the championship finals we go, and in front of a hostile crowd, Gray used an armbar to turn Canada's 2011 junior world champ Dorothy Yates. She put her to her back, recording a fall late in the second period to win the gold medal.
You know, today started off a little bit slow, but I got the job done, and the finals match was just everything I wanted it to be. You know, I went out there and executed what I needed to execute, and it's moves that I've been practicing, some new moves, and it's some moves that I've been doing for the last 10 years. So it's exciting to have all that come together and really show what a complete wrestler I've become.
Joining Adeline with a world title of her own was 2008 Olympian Elena Paraskova. She dominated the action at 138 pounds and moved up a step on the podium herself from 2010 when she won a world silver. This international event marked Paraskova's 6th straight membership on a U.S. World or Olympic team, and this time she put it all together. Let's take a closer look. Paraskova opened the tournament with a pair of big pins. In 33 seconds, she put the shoulders of Chinese Taipei star Min Wen Ho to the mat in just 33 seconds. That's right, 33. The focused Paraskova then turned her attention to Japan's Kyoko Kudo. The bout went to the second period as Elena continued her pinning ways, winning by fall there as well. Elena continued to control the action in the semis when, by the score of 1-0-4-0, she defeated China's talented Liu Homa-Zi 1-0-4-0. While the gold medal finals proved a bit more challenging, facing Bulgaria's 2011 junior world champion Tabi Usain, Elena won the first period 2-1. Usain, however, got the upper hand and the score in the second, winning 5-2. The bout went down to the exciting third and deciding period. Paraskova won her first senior world title when she countered a leg attack and spun behind Usain for the eventual win, and a tight takedown. 1-0 was the final score.
You know, I came in here really focused. I think the whole tournament until the finals, I was really focused. I was just getting on the mat, really getting after it. I was like, just being really aggressive, working with my hands, being offensive. I think it kind of let up a little bit in the finals. Maybe not as aggressive that I didn't stay in this tight position, but nevertheless, I did what I had to do. I scrapped, I fought, and I got it done.
With their wins, Gray and Paraskova became just the 6th and 7th U.S. women to win a world title. They joined an impressive list that includes 4-time world champ Tricia Saunders, 2-time world champ Christy Davis, and world champion Sandra Bacher and Iris Smith, along with Clarissa Chun. How rare is it for the U.S. to have 2 world champs in a single year? We have to go all the way back to 1999 for the only other time the U.S. had 2 world champs the same year. It was Saunders and Bacher who claimed gold, if you recall. With a gutsy performance at 121 pounds, Helen Maroulis gave the U.S. a silver medal. Last year, in what was her second trip to the big show, Maroulis placed 5th at the Worlds. This time, she won 3 tough bouts, making it to the championship finals and her first world medal. Well, how did it happen? Maroulis opened with style, scoring a second-period pin over the Belarusian. In the second round, she controlled the action to shut out the Greek Maria Pavlarki. In the semifinals, with a large partisan crowd against her, Helen defeated veteran Canadian star Brittany Lavador in 2 straight periods, 5-0-4-2. Japanese superstar Saori Yoshida was waiting for Maroulis in the finals. Yoshida arrived in Canada with an amazing 7 world and 3 Olympic titles. Maroulis, not backing away, went on the offense against Yoshida right away. The first period went to Yoshida 2-0. In the second, while pushing the pace, Maroulis was taken to her back and was defeated by pin. Maroulis did not beat the greatest women's wrestler of all time, but gave notice to the entire world that she had indeed arrived.
I got so much out of it. First time medaling, and I learned so much, and I'm just really thankful that Yoshida even came and showed up to this. She didn't in 2008, and when I saw her in the weigh-in line, I was happy, and I just remember thinking, I want to wrestle her. I want another shot, and I thought I thought I could win, and I went out there and I fought. It didn't go the way I wanted, but I'm just glad that I have the opportunity to wrestle here, after the Olympics and everything. So.
Alyssa Lampe provided the U.S. with its fourth medal. Lampe, who was competing in her second world meet, moved up to 112 pounds during the team trials and earned the trip to Canada. Ever the opportunist, Lampe took full advantage. Alyssa opened the tournament by scoring a first-period pin over Azerbaijan's tough Angela Dorigan. Her second round featured a close win over Poland veteran star Roxana Zasina, 1-0-1-0. Lampe battled hard for 3 periods in the semifinals before being edged out by China's Yanan Sun, 1-2, 4-4, 2-2. With a bronze medal on the line, Lampe came out on the attack and defeated Eleanor Abdutalipova of Kazakhstan. The final score there, 2-1, 1-0.
I knew I could do it after I had that close match in the semis, and I just wanted it. I just wanted to, now's as good a time as any, so why not? I don't know if it was just me trying to psych myself out, but I didn't feel as strong as the other girls. But I know my technique's good and I'm quick, so that's what I was relying on.
Now, a month after her strong performance in London, England, 105-pound Olympic bronze medalist Clarissa Chun exercised her prerogative and decided to compete at the World Championships. Chun, a 2008 world title winner, was gunning for a second. She did find her offense in Canada, but was unable to put together a strong medal run. Her first bout was a barn burner, with Chun losing to a talented young Belarusian named Vanessa Kalinskaya. Chun dropped a close 5-4 first period and then rallied with a few big throws to win the second period 1-6. With Chun in the lead late in the third, the Belarusian scored a late takedown for a 4-3 victory. Her opponent earned a spot in the finals, and that pulled Chun back into the tournament. In her repechage bout, Chun again went 3 periods but lost a tight one to the Kazakhstani. Chun placed 9th in the final standings.
For me, I just didn't put my attacks on them. And like I said, I didn't come out after them. I waited for them and felt them out, and it's my own fault. I can't blame anyone else but myself on this.
Now, wrestling in her second World Championships, American Lee Janes placed 10th at 130 pounds. She fell in 3 periods in the quarterfinals to Mongolia's Tungalag, 3-0, 0-1, 3-1 the final score. The Mongolian did not reach the finals, and Jane was unable to wrestle back. Well, after a 7-year absence, 2005 world champ Ira Smith kept the faith and returned to action at the World Championships this year, seeking another medal for her collection. She dropped her first match to Ukraine's Oksana Vashchuk, 3-0, 1-0. Smith was eliminated when Vashchuk lost her next bout. Well, the USA was right in the hunt all 3 days as the team score remained very much in question. When it was done, China earned the first-place trophy, Japan took second, and with 4 medalists and 6 overall place winners, the U.S. placed third. It was the first world trophy for Team USA since 2005, when the U.S. also, coincidentally, finished in third. We talked with national women's coach Terry Steiner.
Well, I think it's a good start for us as we push towards 2016 in Rio. To have 2 world champs and 2 other medals with girls that are going to be with us for the next 4 years. That's a great start for us, and then, so much goes into winning.
Well, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's a ton more news around the corner. This is USA Wrestling Weekly.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
Well, perhaps the biggest story of this year's World Championships was the performance of the 121-pound star from Japan, Saori Yoshida. Already considered to be the greatest women's wrestler ever by many, Yoshida arrived in Canada intent on making international wrestling history. Well, the total was 12. 3 Olympic gold and 9 world gold medals to her credit. Yoshida was tied with Russian Greco-Roman superstar Alexander Karelin with the most world and Olympic titles. Coincidentally, Karelin also had 3 Olympic and 9 world golds to his storied career. As you might guess, Yoshida was big news back in Japan and around the world. A large army of Japanese media and others traveled to Canada to report on the Yoshida quest. There was considerable national pride in Yoshida, as you might guess, and news updates were sent back to the land of the rising sun. The film crews followed her everywhere she went, at the weigh-ins, during competition, to and from the arenas, and they interviewed her before and after every competition as well. Saori Yoshida did not disappoint the faithful followers. In her opening bout, she pinned her Kazakhstan opponent in the first period. She came back in the second round, registering yet another fall, this time pinning India's Geeta in the second period. The semifinals were another matter. It was there she ran into a tough and determined opponent from the Ukraine. Entered Natalia Shin-Ushin. In the first period, Shin-Ushin won a scramble on the edge and was able to lift and throw Yoshida to her back. Officials gave her 3 points, but Yoshida was dangerously close to being pinned. Shin-Ushin won that period 4-0. Embattled, Yoshida now stood up and went to work, winning the next 2 periods 1-0, 3-0, and after a tough bout, moved on to the championship bout. As we told you earlier, her finals bout was against American Helen Maroulis. The competition was both active and spirited, and after taking a close first period by a 2-0 score, Yoshida was able to capitalize on a Maroulis mistake and score a pin in the second. The record of 13 world and Olympic gold medals now belongs to Yoshida. Just seconds after winning her match, the press did what they do. They moved in on the world record holder, interviewed her right next to the mat. This was certainly big news in Japan, and also a huge milestone for wrestling. Congratulations to Saori Yoshida. Simply incredible. Well, the decision to hold the 2012 Women's World Championships in Canada was a boost to the sport in that country and for all Pan-American nations. 2003 was the last time a Senior World Championships was held in North America. Both the men's and women's freestyle worlds were at New York's historic Madison Square Garden that year. The last time Canada hosted a Senior World Championships was in 1993 when Toronto served as the host city to the men's freestyle worlds. The Canadian Federation used this event as a way to promote the sport across the country. Large groups of school kids watched in person to support Team Canada, and even more watched the international broadcast. On the last night, Canadian Wrestling President Don Ryan awarded special Canadian Olympic honors to their 2 women's wrestling superstars, 3-time Olympic medalist Tanya Verbeek and 2-time Olympic medalist Carol Huynh. The opening ceremonies were simple and entertaining, with kids marching out with signs for each country in the event. The crowd was entertained with a special performance by Native Canadians in traditional costumes. The welcome address was provided by FILA Vice President Stan Dezick from the U.S.
Among the international sports, wrestling is the most democratic. No pools, no clubs, no rackets, no apparatus. 2 wrestlers equal size go out onto the mat, armed with nothing more than their wit and their will to win to determine who the best is. And over the next 3 days, that's exactly what we're planning on doing, determine the 7 best women wrestlers in the world.
Well, America was well represented by athletes and officials in Canada. Part of the Women's World Championships were officiated by 3 very talented international refs from America. U.S. Officials Association President Rick Tucci also worked the London Olympics. He was joined by experienced referees Sam Julian and Michael Jordan. We talked to all 3.
World Championships here have been great. The atmosphere has been the same as it would have been in Europe, and I would love to see another World Championships in our hemisphere because I think it gives us a little more of an advantage.
We've worked very well together. You have Olympic category referees. You also have Category 1 referees. The teams seemed to really mesh. There was no issues, and it was very enjoyable.
The host organization has been phenomenal. They've treated us very well. The competition's been great. There's been no drop-off in the women's division from the Olympics to here. The excitement of last night, the finals, was just outstanding, and if we could have that all the time, you know, we'd fill the stands even more than what they've got.
Well, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's a ton more news around the corner. This is USA Wrestling Weekly.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
The Women's World Championships were close to the U.S., just north of the border. The location made it possible for a large number of the sport's leaders and fans to make the journey and support our women in their quest. A friend of many on the team and one who made the trip was 2012 U.S. Olympic Greco-Roman star Ellis Coleman. Coleman, who plans to make another run at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, was excited to be there.
I think the coaching position is way more nerve-wracking than a wrestling position. And I've been working with Helen all this time and coaching her for these past months since I'm out because of concussions and doing everything I can to be there for her, support her. And just every single match I'm tense and I'm more nervous than I am like when I'm competing myself. And so like I can't imagine what our coaches are like, you know, during our tournaments and our competitions. So.
Marcy Van Dusen, a member of the 2008 U.S. Olympic women's team, was one of the assistant coaches on the trip. She helped support the young women on the team in a number of different ways. Marcy recently took a new job with Beat the Streets LA.
Beat the Streets has really been amazing, and working with our board, again, Andy Barth is on that board and kind of guiding us, but also working with Gabrielle Washington and Kevin Lake has been fantastic, and really it's given me the opportunity to do something that I love, which is get involved with the kids and help in that area, and particularly in LA where it's very needed. So I'm excited about that.
Noel Thompson, a leader with Beat the Streets in New York and a major supporter of wrestling at all levels, was there as well.
Well, I tell you, the women are just fantastic. Adeline Gray with a stellar performance yesterday, winning the World Championship, and you have Lampy, who took a bronze yesterday. The women are looking phenomenal. And you have Helen Rouse in the finals against Yoshida. You know, it seems the program has really come a long way and is a program that's here to stay in America.
Jason Kutz, a freestyle coach with the U.S. Army, was there to support the Army wrestler Iris Smith and her teammates as well.
You know what? It's night and day difference from when it started, you know, what's 12 years ago to now. It's night and day different. I mean, these women are out there laying it on the line. Their technique's improving, and, you know, it's fun to watch.
Well, USA Wrestling's national headquarters issued some news of its own this week when they announced a record-setting membership year. During the 2011-2012 year, USA Wrestling broke all-time records in 5 membership categories, including setting new standards for athletes, coaches, clubs, sanctioned events, and female numbers. Although it was not an all-time record, there was also a big increase in the number of officials. Let's take a look at the new membership records for USA Wrestling on a roll. USA Wrestling Manager of State Services Tony Black talks about the successful year and plans for the future.
Yeah, we're certainly excited. I mean, our numbers just came in. We did our final tally for 2011-12 membership season, and we smashed records in athletes, coaches, clubs, events, and we're back to a high level for our officials. I mean, it's certainly our highest level since we instituted background checks 5 years ago. So, I mean, it's good times to be with USA Wrestling right now.
Well, big congratulations and a thank you to all USA Wrestling staff members and volunteers. The USA membership benefits from your service every day. We want you to know how much we appreciate it. You can easily join USA Wrestling fans online by visiting us at usawmembership.com. Well, as this week's episode was being produced, a U.S. team was in competition at the University World Championships in Cortain, Finland. It's time for a men's freestyle update. Hang on to your seats. Team USA had a strong effort on day one, winning 2 individual medals. Former Minnesota star Zach Sanders claimed a silver medal at 121 pounds, a 4-time All-American for the Gophers. Sanders is also a talented freestyle athlete and is a past junior world team member as well. He opened with victories over opponents from the Ukraine and Canada, and then had a great comeback victory in the semifinals against an always tough Mongolian. The Mongolian won the first period 5-1, but Sanders stormed back to win the next 2 periods 1-1. 3-0. In the championship final, Sanders was edged out by Kamal Dundugul of Russia. 0-1-2-6, the final score there. Winning a bronze medal was former Ohio State All-American Colt Sponseller at 163 pounds. Sponseller opened with a big win over a Ukrainian rival and then was edged in the quarterfinals by Ho Kitamura of Japan 1-1, 3-0, 1-1. When Kitamura reached the finals, Sponseller was pulled back into the repechage. He defeated Daniel Olver of Canada 4-0, 1-0 in his first repechage bout. In his bronze medal round, Sponseller stopped Roman Darmenji of Moldova 0-6, 2-0, 2-1. Well, there's a taste of some of the results as they come in. We'll have updates next week on the show. Well, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's a ton more news around the corner. This is USA Wrestling Weekly.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Well, international wrestling, as you know, never really slows down. Now, the new season is already underway overseas. A team of top young freestyle athletes is currently in Russia to participate in 2 wrestling tournaments and training with talented Russian athletes to prepare. As part of this tour, a special dual meet was held in a faraway spot, Yukatia, in the Asian portion of eastern Russia. In a competitive battle indeed, a strong regional Russian team edged the U.S. 5-4. The U.S. had 2 wins at 145 pounds. Former Bucknell star Kevin LaValle defeated Dmitry Shadrin 1-0, 4-3. Former Boise State talent Adam Hall beat Robert Sidorov 1-0, 1-0. Well, the exciting Max Askren, who won an NCAA title for Mizzou, scored a big second-period pin over Kimza Sevsev at 185 pounds. Also winning at 185 pounds was former Michigan star Tyrell Todd, who stopped Evgeny Alexiev 0-1, 2-0, 6-0. Of course, we'll have more news from Russia next week. Well, it's time for a quick update now from the Beach World Championships in Budapest, Hungary last week. U.S. star Jeff Funicello had the best performance for Team USA, placing a strong 5th at 198 pounds. Already a 2-time Beach World medalist, Funicello got on a roll in Hungary, scoring wins over athletes from Turkey, the U.S., Iran, and the Netherlands. In the semifinals, he lost a close 2-1 bout to an athlete from Hungary, and in the bronze medal round, he was edged out by his Swedish competitor. Funicello has played a big role in developing beach wrestling in our country. Congrats on his recent effort on the world stage. Well, it's time for USA Wrestling's Photo of the Week. These pictures are sent in by wrestling families and fans from around the country and are also being considered for our photo contest page in USA Wrestler magazine and for our USA Wrestling Facebook page. Sean Terryberry took this week's pick. Here you see 6-year-old Corey Terryberry of Missouri with a big smile after winning his first wrestling match of his career. Congratulations, young man. Have your photographs considered for all of our photo contests simply by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, folks, that'll do it for this week's broadcast. For all of us at USA Wrestling Weekly, I'm Scott Casper, and thanks for watching. Good night.